and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far. I made a ridiculous amount of goals for 2023, so I'm gonna tell you about them. So in my writing group, Quill and Cup in the Hedgie House, we do monthly goal reviews, which is super helpful. It's amazing. You realize that you accomplish so much more than you think you do when you look back and recount all of your wins. It's amazing. So when we did December's goal review at the end of December, I also started looking ahead into the coming year because I had to make my January goals. We'd look back at the month, be like, here's our wins, what worked, what didn't, what needs to be changed, yada yada, and make goals moving forward. So I made January goals, and then I was like, I might as well just keep going and make a broad, here's the things I want to accomplish this year, and see what happens. I'm not giving myself, publication dates and deadlines, because 2022 was a little bit stressful, and I got it done, but August I lost the joy of any of it, and I got the joy back moving into the rest of the year, but I had a solid month of being like, ugh, books, writing, blah, which just honestly had never happened to me before, so I don't want to, put that kind of pressure on myself. But I do write very quickly, and I do have a lot of projects that I would like to get done. So I am making goals, but not publication deadlines that have to be met, if that makes sense. So yes, things I want to get done. Last year I was trying to rewrite all 8 of my old books that I published under Amanda Grace and move them under the Mandi brand. And I got through the 5 Robin Hood books and started on the first dystopian trilogy book. So I didn't quite get through all 8. I got through 5 and a bit. So for this year I want to get through the last 3 books, the dystopian trilogy. I want to rewrite them, polish them up, bring them under the Mandi brand, which essentially just means unpublishing the old ones, publishing the new versions. But I have to write the new versions first. And with the Robin Hood books, I set publication dates, got my covers, was doing it as I was rewriting them, and so it got a little stressful and crazy. You can watch the entire adventure because I vlogged it, but it was not really the way you should approach publishing books. Just throwing it out there. So with the dystopian trilogy, I'm going to rewrite them first before I make publication dates and decide all of that. So we're just focusing on doing the rewrites. So there's 3 of them. They're very small. Book 1 is 20,000 words, little baby novella. Book 2 I think is roughly around the same size, and then book 3 is closer to 35, maybe 40,000. So they're very small. Rewriting shouldn't take super long. So I'm giving myself about a month, question mark, to do each book, but also there's no deadline, so if it takes longer, fine, I don't care. So I have those 3 things on my list. And then I want to write the final book or what I believe will be the final book, in my fantasy series inspired by the Legends of King Arthur. I have first drafts of books 1, 2, and 3. I haven't done self-editing on any of them, but I have first drafts. I'd like to write the last book so that I can self-edit the whole project. Yeah, because I discovery write, so often even when I have outlines or story plans, I discover things as I'm writing a first draft. I learn things about the characters, about the world, about the plot. So I want to know all of the things before I go back to edit, so that if there's important things I need to foreshadow or elements I want to weave through the books, I need to know the whole story. So I need to write the last book. I took an entire year off of this story, and it's kind of sad, and I'm super eager to get back into it. That's basically it. So what I have written out, month by month, I'm going to share with you, and we'll see how closely I stick to any of this. So in January, the month we are currently in, I want to rewrite Cassie, which is book 1 in this dystopian trilogy. What's up? Why does my phone keep going off? Yes. And I'm already 3 chapters into the 10 chapters of the 20,000 word book, so I don't expect this to take a lot of time. Today is the 7th of January. Yeah, by the end of January, I should absolutely have a first draft of the rewrites. With the Robin Hood rewrites, the books were doubling in size because I was adding so many scenes and so much content. So the new version of the book was like half rewritten words and half completely new scenes. So it was sort of like a hybrid first draft situation. So far with Cassie's book, it's been mostly just rewrites. So not as much of a first draft situation, but we'll see. I'm labeling it first draft because it's the first of the Mandi Grace version. Anyway, also in January, so the last Robin Hood book, The Story of Gisborne, the links still aren't live. I need to do some admin work and make sure that the book is like actually officially published. We don't have to talk about it, but I am going to do that this month. And then, because I was rushing last year to get things published, I didn't do I didn't do professional edits on them. I edited them, I had critique partners read them, my English major sister read over a couple of them, so there were eyes on it, but I didn't actually take them to the person who edits my books. So, I'm getting those edited books back now. So, book 1 was edited before it was published, because that one was like the only one I published correctly. But I do have the edits of book 2 now that I can implement. So, in January, rewriting Cassie, hopefully finishing that, making sure Gisborne has links for whatever reason, and then editing book 2 of the Robin Hood series, Much's book, because I have the official edits now. That's my January. February, right now, all I have written down is rewriting Cindy, book 2 in the Dystopian trilogy. It might also include, like, finishing up implementing Much's edits if I don't finish that in January, but right now I just have rewriting Cindy. In March, I just have rewriting book 3 in the Dystopian trilogy. In April, which is Camp Nano, I would like to start reading over the first drafts of books 1, 2, and 3 of my King Arthur fantasy story so that I can immerse myself back into that world and those characters before I write book 4, because it has been a year since I touched that project. Anyway, the summer months are kind of blank right now, other than like maybe looking over my King Arthur drafts that I already have, because I don't really know what editing will look like. So with the Dystopian trilogy, after I rewrite them, hopefully in the first 3 months of the year, I'm going to self-edit and then get them edited. So I'll add those into the months. Like as soon as I'm done with all 3, I'll start the editing process and write it down for whatever month it's going to be in, and then yada yada. So that's probably going to be happening between April and August, in there somewhere, my self-edits plus the actual edits. But I'm not giving myself deadlines this year, so I didn't write it down. I didn't say like, by June I have to do this. I was just, at some point, if I get through rewriting them, that will happen this year. If I do get through the self-editing and also edits, I would like to publish them this year. I would love that, and then I could just be done with the Amanda Grace books altogether. But again, no firm deadlines until I actually rewrite them, because we're doing this without stress, you guys. And then in November, which is the only thing in the month, NaNoWriMo, which is my favorite time of the year, and this last year was kind of stressful and not as much fun, and also I was rewriting instead of writing a brand new project, and I just didn't love it. Anyway, we're going back to traditional NaNoWriMo, and I'm going to write book 4 of the King Arthur story for NaNoWriMo. I have it written down in November right now. If the Dystopian trilogy rewrites go very quickly and like self-editing and all that, then I might end up doing the King Arthur story like in the July Camp Nano maybe, because I really want to get back into it. I really want to write the last book, but also I don't want to be doing a bunch of projects at once. Anyway, that's it. That's what I got. Those are my goals. That's 3 books that I want to rewrite and potentially edit and publish this year. Also 3 books that I want to read over and potentially start rewriting in the fantasy series, plus a book that I want to write the first draft. 7 projects, you guys. It's fine. I'm a little bit crazy and ambitious, but also the thing is I write very quickly. So like last year I was able to rewrite 5 books, and that wasn't just polishing them but also like adding a whole bunch of content. I ended up writing over 500,000 words last year, and about 300,000 of that was in the last 4 to 5 months of the year. So a lot. I can write fairly quickly. Someday I might try the mill-wordy thing where you try to write 1,000,000 words in a year, because I think I could do that without too much struggling, to be honest. As long as I didn't have any publication deadlines, if I was just allowed to write and be happy or whatever, like, I bet I could do that without even trying. So, yes. Anyway, that's completely off topic. I have 7 projects. We're starting with the dystopian trilogy, and then potentially getting to King Arthur. Definitely writing book 4 this year, but like, I don't know how much editing will happen of the first 3 drafts. Anyway, that's it. That's what I got. Those are my goals. I'm rambling. My Robin Hood books, which are recently republished and beautiful, are linked in the description if you are interested in reading them. Except for book 5, because you might have noticed that that was a goal for January, is to fix the links on that. We'll get there. We'll get there.